Here's some good news that you can use. There are QR codes everywhere, and a new alert from the FBI says that they're being used by scammers.
You scan a QR code at a restaurant. No pop-ups, no warnings, nothing looks suspicious. 3 minutes later, your bank account is wiped out. QR code scams are spreading faster than anyone realizes. In 2024 alone, over $580 million was stolen through fake QR codes, and the FBI warns most victims never knew they were scammed until it was too late. Today, we're exposing 12 QR code scams draining accounts across America right now, and what to check before you scan anything again. Coming in at number 12, the menu sticker scam. You sit down. The server says scan the QR code. You pull up your phone and tap. The menu loads perfectly. Looks professional. Has the restaurant's logo. Prices match what you saw on Google. You order, pay the tip, and leave satisfied. Here's what you didn't see. That QR code wasn't from the restaurant. It was a sticker printed overnight and placed over the real one by someone who walked in earlier that day. Some scammers hit 5 restaurants in a single night. The fake codes blend in perfectly because they copy the restaurant's exact design from photos found online. The fake menu copies everything, prices, photos, even the font. But when you pay, the money goes straight to the scammer. And that tip you added? Pure profit for them. Reports from the Better Business Bureau show this scam hit over 300 restaurants nationwide last year. Most victims only noticed when they got duplicate charges or saw their card used in another state days later. And here's what most people don't realize. The restaurant has no record of your order. They never received your payment. Some places even deny the customer was ever there. That's why this matters. Before scanning any menu code, check if it's a sticker. Real QR codes are printed directly on the table tent or laminated into the menu itself. If it peels off, don't scan it. And if you think a menu code is harmless, wait until you see what's happening at parking meters. At number 11, here's one spreading fast in major cities. You park. You see the meter. There's a bright sticker that says scan to pay. Convenient, right? You scan it. The site looks official. City logo. Clean design. You enter your card and confirm. But that payment site is fake. The code was slapped over the real meter by a scammer earlier that morning. Your money goes nowhere near the city, and when you come back an hour later, there's a parking ticket on your windshield because you never actually paid. According to city officials in Austin, over 400 fake QR stickers were removed from meters in just 3 months. Victims lost an average of $40 per scan, and they still had to pay the ticket. Similar reports came from San Francisco, Chicago, and Houston. The scammers move fast, hitting dozens of meters before dawn when streets are empty. Here's the part nobody tells you. Some cities don't even use QR codes for parking payments, but people scan them anyway because they look official. Always check the city's parking app or website before scanning a meter code. If the site asks for your card before showing a confirmation screen, exit immediately. That's how they get you on the street, but the next scam arrives in your mailbox. Sliding in at number 10, this one preys on panic. You open your mail, the envelope is marked urgent, it says your electricity bill is overdue, you're 48 hours from disconnection. There's a QR code at the bottom that says scan to pay now and avoid fees. You scan it. The page loads with your utility company's name and logo. You enter your card info. Hit submit. The screen says payment received, but nothing was paid. The letter was fake. The QR code was printed by scammers who bought your address from a data broker. The Federal Trade Commission reported over $200 million stolen through fake utility scams in 2024 alone. Victims said the letters looked completely legitimate, same fonts, same layout, even the same warning language real utility companies use. Some letters even included the victim's actual account number, which scammers bought from data brokers for just a few dollars. And here's what most people miss. Real utility companies never send QR codes in the mail. They send account numbers and tell you to log in through their official site. If you get a past due notice, call the number on your actual bill. Don't scan the code, don't click the link, verify first. That's what happens in your mailbox, but at your front door, it gets even more convincing. At number 9, this scam uses your own expectations against you. You come home. There's a note on your door. It says delivery attempted. Scan the QR code to reschedule. You don't remember ordering anything, but maybe your spouse did. You scan it. The page looks like UPS or FedEx. Clean logo, tracking number. It asks you to confirm your address and pay a small redelivery fee, just $3.95. That page is fake. The tracking number is random, and that $3.95 charge is just the test. Once your card goes through, the scammers drain everything they can before you notice. Investigators in California found that over 1,200 fake delivery notices were placed on homes in a single week. Most victims didn't realize they'd been scammed until days later when their cards were declined or they saw charges from overseas. The scammers target entire neighborhoods at once, leaving identical notes on every door in the same afternoon. Here's the hidden truth. Real delivery companies never charge redelivery fees through a QR code. They email you or leave a tracking number you enter on their site. If you find a delivery note with a QR code, ignore it. Go directly to the carrier's official app or website and check there. It sounds harmless harmless enough, but the next scam is designed specifically for seniors. At number 8, here's one targeting the most vulnerable. You're 67. You get a letter. It says your Medicare benefits are expiring. You need to verify your information immediately or lose coverage. There's a QR code that says scan to update your account. You scan it. The form asks for your Medicare number, birth date, and social security number. It looks official, blue and white, government logos. You fill it out and submit. But Medicare didn't send that letter. Scammers did. And now they have everything they need to file fake claims, open credit cards in your name, and drain your benefits. According to the FBI, Medicare fraud through fake QR mailers cost victims over $1.8 billion last year. Most victims were over 65 and trusted the letter because it looked identical to real Medicare correspondence. Some even had official-looking watermarks and case numbers. The fear of losing health coverage made people act fast without questioning the legitimacy. And here's the part that breaks trust completely. Real Medicare will never ask you to verify your information through a QR code. They don't send those, ever. If you get a Medicare letter with a QR code, call 1-800-MEDICARE directly. Report the scam, don't scan it, don't fill anything out. That's how scammers steal identities, but the next scam steals money by exploiting your kindness. At number 7, this one hits after disasters and holidays. A wildfire destroys homes. A hurricane floods entire towns. You see a fundraiser posted online. There's a QR code. It says scan to donate. Help families rebuild. Every dollar counts. You scan it. The page has photos of victims, heartbreaking stories, a donation form. You give $50. Feel good about it. Move on. But that charity doesn't exist. The page was built in 20 minutes using a template. The photos were stolen from news sites. And your $50 went straight into a scammer's account. The National Center for Disaster Fraud reported that fake charity QR scams stole over $120 million in 2024 alone, mostly after hurricanes, wildfires, and holidays like Christmas. After one major hurricane, investigators identified over 60 fake charity sites using stolen photos and fabricated stories. The scammers moved fast, launching campaigns within hours of news coverage. Here's the betrayal. People wanted to help. They thought they were doing the right thing, and scammers weaponized that. Before donating through a QR code, verify the charity on charitynavigator.org or GuideStar. Real organizations have tax IDs and verified profiles. If you can't find them, don't donate. And just when you think you're being careful online, the next scam happens during everyday transactions. Want to stay ahead of new scams before they drain your account? Subscribe now so you don't miss the next warning. Sliding in at number 6, this one catches buyers off guard. You're buying a couch on Facebook Marketplace. The seller seems normal. Good reviews, fast replies. You agree on $200. Then they say, I don't use Venmo. Just scan this QR code and pay directly. You scan it. The payment page looks clean, secure. It even has a PayPal-style logo. You enter your card, hit confirm. The seller says thanks and blocks you. The item never arrives. The payment site was fake. And now the scammer has your card number, CVV, and billing address. According to the Federal Trade Commission, Facebook Marketplace scams using fake QR payment codes cost victims over $85 million last year. The average loss was $300 per person. Some victims reported losing over $1,000 when scammers used their card info for additional purchases before the card was frozen. The fake payment pages often stay active for weeks, collecting dozens of victims before being shut down. Here's what most buyers don't realize. Real payment apps like Venmo, PayPal, and Cash App don't use QR codes for direct payments between strangers. That's not how they work. If a seller asks you to scan a QR code to pay, refuse. Use the platform's built-in payment system or meet in person with cash. That's the risk of online deals, but the next scam happens in places you thought were safe. At number 5, this scam thrives in crowded places. You're at a concert. You see a sign near the entrance. It says, scan here for digital tickets or parking validation. Looks official. Venue logo. Professional print? You scan it. The page asks you to log in to confirm your ticket. You enter your email and password. The page freezes. You refresh. Try again. Eventually, you give up and find another entrance. But that login page was fake. The QR code was printed by a scammer and taped to the wall earlier that day. And now they have your email, password, and access to anything else you use that login for. Reports from Ticketmaster show that fake QR codes at venues led to over 12,000 compromised accounts in 2024 alone. Victims lost an average of $600 when scammers resold their tickets or drained linked payment methods. The worst incidents happened at outdoor festivals and sporting events, where temporary signage is common and security is spread thin. Some victims didn't discover the theft until they arrived at the venue and their tickets showed as already used. And here's what venues won't admit: they rarely check for fake signs. Anyone can print a QR code, tape it up, and walk away. Before scanning a code at any event, check with staff. Real venue QR codes are printed on official materials, not taped on paper signs. It's shocking how easy it is to fake legitimacy, and the next scam proves how even your email isn't safe. At number 4, here's how scammers are outsmarting security. You get an email from your bank, it says suspicious activity detected. Verify your account. But instead of a link, there's a QR code. It says scan instead of clicking for faster, more secure access. You scan it. The page looks exactly like your bank's login. You type your username and password. Hit enter. The screen says verifying, then nothing. But that wasn't your bank. The email was fake. And the QR code was designed to bypass spam filters because most email security systems can't scan images for malicious links. Cybersecurity firm Abnormal Security reported that QR code phishing emails increased by 587% in 2024. Financial institutions were the most impersonated, followed by IRS and government agencies. Here's the invisible threat. Your email provider blocked the fake link, but couldn't stop the QR code, so the scam slipped right through. If you get an email with a QR code asking you to log in, delete it. Real banks and government agencies don't send QR codes. They send secure links or tell you to log in manually. That's how they steal passwords. But the next scam doesn't just trick you, it terrifies you. At number 3, this one hits when you're already panicking. You're browsing online. Suddenly a pop-up covers your screen. Red warning, loud beeping. It says your computer is infected. Call Microsoft support immediately, or scan this QR code for instant help. You're scared, you scan it. The page opens a chat, someone responds instantly. They say your computer is at risk, they need remote access to fix it. They send a link, you download it, give them control. But Microsoft didn't send that warning. The pop-up was fake, and the person you just gave access to is now copying your files, passwords, and bank logins in real time. The FBI's Internet Crime Complaint Center reported that QR-based tech support scams stole over $400 million in 2024. The average victim lost $3,000, most of it drained within hours of granting remote access. Here's what makes this so cruel: the victims were trying to protect themselves. They thought they were doing the right thing, and that trust was exploited instantly. If you see a warning pop up with a QR code, close your browser immediately. Real security alerts come from your antivirus software, not random web pages. And if you think that's manipulative, the next scam impersonates the one institution people trust most. At number 2, here's the scam stealing millions every month. You get a text. It says fraud detected on your account. Unusual activity. Click here or scan this QR code to verify. You scan it. The page looks exactly like your bank's app. Logo, colors, layout, everything matches. You log in. It asks you to confirm recent transactions. You click yes or no, then it says verification complete. You close the page and go back to your day. But that page wasn't your bank. The text was fake. And the login you just entered gave scammers full access to your account, username, password, security answers, everything. According to the American Bankers Association, QR-based phishing texts stole over $1.2 billion from customers in 2024. Most victims didn't realize they'd been scammed until their balance hit 0 days later. And here's the ultimate betrayal. The text came from a number that looked almost identical to the bank's real alerts, just one digit off. If you get a fraud alert with a QR code, don't scan it. Open your bank's app manually or call the number on the back of your card. Never trust the message itself. That's how scammers empty accounts. But the number 1 scam doesn't just steal money. It takes over your entire digital life. At number 1, here's the most dangerous QR scam in America right now. You scan a code, could be anywhere. A flyer, a parking sign, a store window. The page loads for a second, then closes. Weird, but not alarming. You forget about it. But in that single second, malware was installed on your phone. It's silent, invisible. And now it's tracking every password you type, every app you open, and every bank account you access. Within 48 hours, scammers have drained your checking account, applied for credit cards in your name, and sold your identity on the dark web. Cybersecurity researchers at Lookout found that malicious QR codes installed malware on over 90,000 devices in 2024 alone. Most victims had no idea until they were locked out of their email, bank, and social media accounts. The malware spreads silently, often disguised as a system update or security patch that victims never actually installed. Here's the invisible nightmare. The malware doesn't just steal once, it keeps working, logging, copying, sending data back to the scammer for weeks or even months. The only way to protect yourself is to never scan a QR code you didn't specifically search for. And if a code redirects you to download anything, stop immediately and delete it. This isn't just about losing money. It's about losing control of your entire digital identity. And it starts with one scan. These scams are spreading faster than most people realize, and they target the moments you're distracted, rushed, or trying to help. The best defense is knowing what to watch for before you scan. Subscribe now so you don't miss the next warning. Your account depends on it.